Hey everybody, thanks for checking out this video. Today we're going to take a look at how to move WeConnectWebsites.com from one cPanel to another cPanel. The cPanel that I'm on is coming up for expiration, and I'd actually picked up a different one on a good deal, but I had to migrate my website from one hosting account to the other because I got such a great deal on the other hosting account. So this may have happened to you, and don't worry, you can still take advantage of the deal as long as you know how to move your website from one hosting account to another. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now, step by step. We're going to go through it all at once. I don't plan on editing this video a whole lot. It's just going to be me going through the steps. So this is my gateway screen here at GoDaddy. That's who my hosting's with. So you can see that we've got a couple of things going on. We've got the WeConnect Websites hosting account right now. That's up and running, but that actually expires like yesterday. So I got to move this thing fast. And then I've got some other demo websites that I have set up there. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and log into the hosting account that my website is currently in. So from this gateway screen, I would click the Manage button, and it would take me right here into my cPanel hosting account. Now, it just so happens that I don't remember my password. Well, I'm kind of lying, I really do, but I wanted to show that step too in case you needed to change your password. So I got into my cPanel, but now I want to change my password. I'm going to click this button right down here, change main domain, and that's going to kick me back out to what's called the gateway screen. And then this screen will load here, and then it has this pop-up window right here. So it'll load, and then it's going to ask what do you want to do, you know, the tabs there. cPanel password, we're going to change it, and I want to make it to something like we'll throw a similar 2 in there, and some of these, and how about one of these? Okay, so I'm going to show my password, which I shouldn't technically do, but I always change my passwords after the videos anyway, and then periodically while I'm working on my site, I just change the password anyway, because for me to change it is no big deal. It takes probably 4 to 5 minutes maximum for me to open up all my stuff and change my password to either the cPanel or my WordPress installation. So either one is not a problem at all, and if you watch my videos, you'll be able to do the same thing. It's once you get used to it, it's pretty simple. So now that we have our password, and you can see that right up here, we need our FTP credentials, which if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know exactly how to get those. And we always take the IP address for your FTP information. And if you're watching this, you should kind of know what FTP is. I'm not really going to go over that, but you just saw me get the credentials. There's my IP address. Okay, it's in there. There's my username. It's in there. So all I really needed to put in here is my password. There it is. And if all goes well, that should log in. Haha. I guess. Let me try this again. Copy that, paste it in there just to make sure I got everything right. Paste it in there. And oh, I see what happened. I added, oh no, couldn't be. All right. So apparently I'm having a little bit of an issue getting signed in. There's my password. We'll update that again. Let's open up a new window in my looks like my transmit might have crashed. Alright, let's hope this works this time. Put that in there, that in there, put that in there. Alright, so my password, it turns out, looks like it just needed a minute to update, which wasn't a huge deal, and now I'm able to get right into my FTP here. So username, password, and IP address, username, password, logs me in, and then you can see you got your public_HTML folder. I've got mine here. Cool. So first thing I want to do before I start my download, I actually want to go to my WP config file, and that's this one right here, and you want to open that up. Open it up with your text editor and have that off to the side. And if you're following along with the video, I'll show you why in a few minutes, but we're going to leave that off to the side because we're going to need it later. And then after you're done, I've showed you various different ways to do this. In this video, I'm just going to grab this whole public_HTML video folder, and I'm going to move it right to my desktop. So I'm now downloading the entire public_HTML folder. That's everything for my WordPress install. Get it down to the desktop as far as files are concerned. Okay, so that gets that going. So then that starts our files. So now while we are going after the database and we're going to move the SSL as well and all this other stuff, we can start our download, which that's going right now. Alright, I already told you that like 3 times. I'm sure you've got it. Download your files. Then we're going to go after this database. You're going to click on phpMyAdmin. You just saw me do that. That's going to get us access to our database, and this is mine here. And then you're going to check all. You're just going to click on the database just like you saw me do. Check all, export, and then it's going to be an SQL file. You're going to use the quick method and just hit go. So it's going to download our database to the desktop, or to the downloads folder, which here it is. It's my downloads folder off to the side. So there that goes. Alright, so that's it. That's all we needed out of phpMyAdmin. We're done with that. Now, how are my files doing? Still retrieving size. No problem there. Let's go set up this let's see, can we remove the domain name? Yeah, we can remove the domain name right now. So we're going to click on that change main domain again. You saw me click on that about the change password. So now we're going to do it for the actual domain name. And this is just the gateway screen again. And then you're going to enter a domain or subdomain, and then you're going to grab your domain name. I'm just going to copy mine like that so I don't have to type it because I'm lazy. And I'm going to do old dot and then my domain name, right? So there that is. Now I don't know why they did this. You don't see a button down here. You have to scroll, and there's the button. So make sure you don't miss that one. That's going to change the main domain name. Now if you happen to FTP in to your site using your domain name, you don't want to change it. That's why I say always use the IP address, because that's not going to change our connection for public_HTML, because we're downloading it. Here it is. You can see it. It's coming right now. So that will not be interrupted as long as you use the method that I showed for FTP. So whenever you're working with a cPanel style hosting account, that's what you want to do. So my domain name just changed over there. Good to see that happening. And my public_HTML is downloading. Now I'm going to set up my cPanel. This is the new one. And then let's see, is my domain name weconnectwebsites.com. Oh. So yeah, there's my name. I'm going to put my server in North America because that's where I'm at. Now we need a username. For this one we're going to use something different. I can't use caps, so dev 97. And I'm not sure where that came from, but that will do as a username. Let's make that just a hair longer. I'm going to change it anyway. Well, we'll make it longer so you guys, we'll do 1997. I don't know why, but that's the number we'll pick for tonight. So there you go, 1997. Now we got our username. I'm going to let the cPanel go ahead and generate a password, and I'm going to have them show it to me. And then I'm just going to copy that and paste it. And then I'm going to tag this note right here. New hosting details. Yep. Good stuff. All right. So we got our username, our password all set up. We're going to click the next button. No, you don't want to put in a WordPress website. You can, but that's another way. There's many different ways to move WordPress with cPanel. You can use the installatron. You can have cPanel install a brand new one and then overlay yours in it. So there's a bunch of different ways. You can use a plugin that'll migrate it automatically. You can do all of those methods. My methods that you'll always see me do are a more manual method, leaving the WordPress to stand on its own inside the cPanel hosting account and not be installed through installatron, where installatron is controlling it. However, that does mean you usually will have to go and update your website manually, because installatron won't recognize it and it will not install it for you automatically. So, or update it automatically rather. Cool. So here's our new setup. This says it's already ready, so we'll just click the setup button. Now you may be asked, saying, you know, I had an SSL on my site. How come I haven't dealt with the SSL? The SSL is going to be actually after we finish the migration completely. Then we'll be able to easily move that SSL. So I have my username here already. I'm just going to make note of my IP address here, because I'm going to need that in a few minutes to upload my site. Cool. So I've got my files and I've got my database here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open up This is my new cPanel, remember? We just set this up. So MySQL databases, this is where you're going to add your database to the new hosting account. Create database name. So rather than reinvent the wheel and pick a new database name and all that, I'm going to try to use this same database. I don't think it'll let me work. Let me do that. Yeah, because it's already exists in the other account. So we're going to do that and go back. And we're going to make this we can DB 5792. That's a good number. Alright, so that's my database name. That should be pretty unique, because the name has to actually be unique across GoDaddy's whole system, so it can't have the same name as any other database in GoDaddy's system. So you got to make sure that that's in there, and it took that one. So now you'll notice I changed it directly in my WP config file that I have open here. So that's why I said open this up, so you have access to all this information and you're not trying to figure out, well, should I pull it from the hosting account here where it's downloading, which you don't want to really mess with that too much, or do I try and open it here, which it's writing to that folder right now, so you kind of don't want to mess with that too much. Alright, so we'll go back to creating our database. We're going to create a user. So my user, I'm going to change it to WC 43. Yep, that looks good. And I'm really just randomizing all this stuff. I'm not making this up for any any specific from any specific method. I just come up with this stuff off the top of my head, and I keep it noted. So there's my password. I use the same one from the database, and notice again I updated this WP config file first and then copied it from the WP config where I updated it and then pasted it in. That's an important habit to get into. Update it, copy it, archive it, meaning put it in your, here, or in this case I've got it here in my WP config over here. So archive it, put it in and then archive it. Make sure you've got a copy of it. Keep it forever and ever always. You can use your own method, LastPass or something like that, a password keeper, but you see how I do it right here. So now you're going to, since we created the database, we created the user, we have to add the user to the database, and that's what you're going to do right here. Add. Because see, these are already selected. You're going to give them all privileges, because that user is going to have to update plugins and the theme and WordPress itself and all of that. So you're going to give it all changes, all privileges. Now, some other people may have another way to do it, but that's WordPress standard as far as I know. So so MySQL databases, that's it. We're done. The database is in. We created our database. We don't need to modify. We see the current ones. MySQL add users. We added our user. Remember, we added the user to the database, and here's our current user. So all of our stuff is in there, and you can see from here you can rename the database if you wanted to right from this screen, or you can change the user's password. That is this password right here. You can change it here if after you update it in the WP config like this. I'm going to go back because I don't want to do this. Whoop, a little too far. So there is that. The database is created. I'm still downloading. You can see it's right, like getting toward the end there, so stuff is coming down pretty quickly. that's good. It'll help me keep the video moving along. I remember one of my videos, man, it took forever for that thing to download. Alright, so phpMyAdmin. This time we're going to go in and we're going to import into phpMyAdmin. Which button was that? It was this one. So here we go. Oh, I clicked it again. Alright, so we're installed here and I click the database name and then I'm going to click import, and then I'm going to show you something super secret from my downloads folder over here. Downloads. You can take this database and drag it right in there. I'm using a Mac. That's how it works on Mac. I don't know if you can do that stuff on a PC. Usually PCs don't let you drag and drop stuff, so you have to actually select it from your files, but I'm sure you've done that step before. So here you go, import all these queries, but you see I got a problem here. My database name is wrong. You see this? .SQL. I'm going to open this up with Sublime Text, and you're going to see this database name. I'm going to take this one here, and right at the top in this database, this is, I just opened from my desktop, remember? So it was the one that was in my downloads folder here. Even though I uploaded it into this one's taking a little while to load too. I'm gonna have to take a look at this thing later. Alright, so I'm gonna paste in this new database username here, and this is the name of the database actually, not the username. That's the only place that you need it at, is just right here in this commented out section. You add it there and you save it. You just save it back to your desktop, and that's it. Perfect. So since that's saved, I'm going to paste that name there. So just so that way the database name that's in the database matches the file name. I'm going to go back to here. I'm pretty confident that this database would be fine if I ran it, but I don't want to do that because it's going to be screwed up, and you don't want to take chances like that. So I'm going to drop these tables. Dropping the tables means literally you're going to pretend like these are just glass tablets, and it's all going to go away. So do I really want to do this? Yes. And it drops all the tables and they all go away. So I'm going to re-import my database. This time I'm not going to choose it. I'm just going to go the easy way. Pull that thing in there, click the go button, and you're off and running. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee, excuse me. Okay, so database is in. So our new cPanel's already set up and our database is already in. We're like halfway there. I mean, we are rocking right through this. It's amazing how fast this is going. So I hope I'm not going too fast, but if I am, I guess you could play it at half speed or something. What can we do while we're still downloading? We got a little bit left. Just a weensy bit. Let's get started on the SSL. We can do that. Alright, SSL installation. We're going to click on that SSL TLS button. And then the first thing you're going to do is get a private key. Click on that. Generate private key. You're going to see that you have one here. This is not a legitimate private key. This is a self-signing certificate private key. It's not going to work for what you want. For an actual SSL certificate, it doesn't work. So this is going to be we connect websites encryption. Alright. You want to copy and paste everything. Oh, looks like our public_HTML is done. Cool. So I'm going to keep connected to this other one, and I'm going to do a Command T in transmit here, and that opens up another tab for me, similar to any web browser. And again, that's a Mac command. It may be Control T, or you may be able to just come up here and click New. Come up here and click New Tab or New Window. But that's how I'm going to do it. So my caps lock is still on. So we got the IP address, username, password. That connects. Alright, so I got public_HTML, public_HTML. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to do a Control A, and I'm going to just drag all these guys right in there. That's going to do its thing in the background, right, while I'm still working on this SSL certificate. So we entered we connect websites encryption. I'm going to put a .com in there. .com encryption. So I changed it there. I make sure you always update your archive. Make sure you're paying attention to that, because one day you may need this stuff, and if you have it, it'll make your life a whole lot easier. Generate a new private key. It's cool stuff. So here we go. We got our new private key here. It's encrypted. As soon as this page loads, you know, we're uploading stuff too, so the internet will be a little slow. We're going to copy all this, including all these dashes. Copy that. Paste it. Right? Now the private key isn't something that you're going to use a whole heck of a lot, so you can push that down. Push it down a little bit in your archive, or however you do it, whatever. But you can paste stuff up above it. Return to SSL Manager. We're going to need a certificate signing request. That's what we need. We're going to generate a new one. It's going to be domains. WeConnectWebsites.com. City, Chicago, state. Now in this case, this is a domain validated certificate, so what that means is the SSL that I'm setting up right now, or that I'm entering this information, only validates off of the domain name. It doesn't check your entity meaning your company, to see if you're an LLC or not, or anything like that. Contact at, and I try again, WeConnectWebsites.com. Try as much as possible to copy and paste. Maybe it's slower, but I don't know, I'm not sure. So we can encrypt, and then description, another description, copy that, paste it in there. Okay, so the information that you're going to want to jot down is always this passphrase, because this especially is something that I see that you'll need for various programs, and then the description. So I take that. Oh, look at me. Look at me making mistakes. Control Z is what I did there. I did a Control Z here to change that, double paste of description, and then I did a Control Z here to change it there. Command Z if you're on a Mac, Control Z if you're on a PC. Alright, So I've got all these other check boxes here filled out. Company division is, it's optional, so I'm not going to fill it out. I mean, you may want to. You may want to say that, this is the marketing department or something that's using this SSL. Sometimes that's good to have that information, but not in my case. So I'll bring this and then just paste in that CSR. There it is, right? So you got your CSR. Return to SSL Manager. Alright, so I'm done with this screen, so I'm going to go to, well, here I'll do it the nice way. You're going to do another tab in your browser, and then you're going to go to certs.godaddy.com. This is where their SSL certificates are. .404. It's asking me if I want to replace the 404. I'll do that. Sure, I'll do that. I'll do that. These are what it's popping up as is all the GoDaddy folders that are standard, or all the cPanel standard folders. That's what it was asking me right there. Alright, so back to our SSL. We've got the SSL certificate here. You click on it. You can see mine is good till December. So what we're going to do here is it's good till December, but right now it's still attached to the old server. So we just want to move it over to where the new server is, right? That is called a Rekey. So in this situation, since my domain name is the domain name on the actual cPanel, all I would really have to do is install a certificate on the same site, and then you could also change the site that your certificate protects, and those two, and you could click save. But the way I showed you was the manual way to get all of the information for your SSL. So that way, even if you have a deluxe cPanel where you can have multiple domains, you can. This is the same process that you're going to use for your add-on domains as well. So any domain name you have under your main domain name, this is the exact same process you go through. And I wanted to make sure I showed you this particular way. So Rekey certificate. All right, we pasted in our certificate signing request. This is gonna open up. Yeah, we're still uploading, so stuff's kind of wonky, but there you go. It's pasted in there. You click this green save button there, and then this stuff up here turns green. That means it's saved, and then you submit all save changes. That's it. It's going to validate the domain name, which the domain name is in this account. So as the domain name's in this account, the domain validation is going to be super simple. It's going to happen automatically. But if your domain name is at another company, you're going to have to put in what's called a TXT record, and it's going to have to point to it's the TXT record. The value, or the host, is going to be your domain name or the @ symbol, preferably the @ symbol. And then you're going to paste in this long code that they would put in this screen, but paste it in wherever the other person is, the other company is. Quite frankly, GoDaddy has some of the best domain name handling. The way that their website is set up, I know that their new format kind of stinks, and I think they're working on that. I hope they are, because it's really, really bad right now. But honestly, the way that how they let you transfer things, how they show you your domain names, it's not cryptic. A lot of the other companies I've been with have been really super cryptic. So we'll refresh this screen and see where we're at. So there we go. Domain ownership is validated. So this certificate, generally in my experience, these SSLs have set up usually within 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes they take a few hours though. but I mean, it used to be days before the thing would set up. So excuse me while I drink my coffee. Okay, so all of our files are now uploaded in here, so they're all there, and then we should be able to connect websites.com. Error token mismatch. So something's wrong, but it's probably just switching the SSL over right now, or removing the SSL too. So things are going to be a little bit crazy. Let's see where we're at here. So my website's officially broken. No SSL, right? Let's try this. Copy here. Paste it. Token mismatch. Something's not right on my domains here. So this is what you'll get too when people don't have an SSL. I don't really want to bypass that because I want to make sure that you see it when I actually get the SSL installed there. So let's refresh the screen one more time, see if it's ready. I mean, we're literally almost done. All of my files are uploaded, right? So all my files are on the new server. My database is installed. I'm sure if I pass this error, I would probably see a website. It may be a broken website, but I would have something. And if it's broken, we can fix it. It's no big deal. So we're just going to wait for this here. Refresh the screen again. Boom. There it is. See? It never takes very long. It really doesn't. Download your certificate. And again, this is the same thing you're going to do for all your add-on domains. Doesn't matter if you have 10 or 20, 50 or 100. This is it's all the same process, so I don't even need to do that because I know that my downloads is right here. So here is my certificate. It comes down in this zip file. Double click on it if you're on a Mac, and that'll open it up. If you're on a PC, I think you have to unzip it. You have to right click it and do some kind of unzip thing. So you double click on this, and you got this CRT file here. Just take and open up your text editor, right? And actually you can just drag it and drop it right in there, and it'll create a new file for you automatically and open this up, or it'll basically just open this file. So you highlight and copy all that because you're going to need that. And then we go, and then remember that's from the CRT file right here, which came out of this zip file. So you double click this, open this folder, take this and drag it into your text editor. And when you drag it in there, it opens up into this. You copy this, certificates, dun, da, da, da. So a couple different ways. Like I just showed you how to open it, highlight, copy it, paste it, right? You could paste it into here and that would work. See, it's all, here's all the stuff here. So this would totally work. You could save the certificate and it's done. But you can also take this CRT file and drag it right here and upload it, and it'll take it all on its own. And it's asking for a description. Just use the same description all throughout the thing. We'll use the upload method. There it is. So the certificate for the domain name has been saved. Cool. So here is that. Remember in the first portion we had that I told you there was a self-signed private key. That's what this top thing is right here. Self-signed. That's not the one you want. Your certificate is this one here. This is the one that's issued by GoDaddy, this bottom one. Alright, so now we're going to return to SSL Manager all the way at the bottom of the screen and install it. You see how this screen is set up? You can't mess it, well, you can mess this up, but they make it make sense. You need a private key, you need a certificate signing request, then you get once you get the certificate, you give it the certificate to the server, and then you install the certificate on the server, right? So they lay the steps out for you. Here we go. You can select it right out of that drop down. Autofill by domain. That's okay to use. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you wanted to do this, you can paste this stuff in here. Let me show you how to do that. If you grab this GD bundle, you drag it into there, you're going to see out of this GD bundle you've got 3 distinct sections. 1, 2, 3. 3 distinct sections. 1, 2, 3. That's how this works, right? So again, they lay it out for you. It's everything kind of matches. It's not, they don't make it hard. They really don't. So there you go. Autofill by domain is what I did, and it just pulls all this information. It pulls the CRT from the CRT that I just uploaded, the private key which we created, and the certificate bundle. The only other part that's not included in between the private key and the CRT is public knowledge. They pull it from the repository, so that's where the third part comes from. Install the certificate. So that means the certificate that I just got from GoDaddy for the new server is going and getting installed right now. So what's happening? Cool stuff. Cool internet stuff. So bam, so here we are. Now I got HTTPS just that fast on my website. That's awesome. It's so cool. But I've got an error establishing a database connection. Well, I know why that is already, because I opened up my WP config in the first place, in the first section of this video when it first started, and I made changes to the username and password in the database. You remember all that because you did that too. So now you're going to have to go back and find this WP config file, and we're going to open that up. I'm going to place these two things pretty much side by side so you can see where we've changed this stuff and this stuff. So we got to make that match, and it's really easy to do. I'm going to copy it from here. I'm going to paste it right in here. Bam. Copy. Paste. Now we didn't change the password, so I'm just going to save that back to the server. Command S, Control S. Save it back to the server. Close out of the one that you opened from the server. Close that one out, but leave the original one open. Leave that open and off to the opposite side of your screen or whatever, however you choose to fit your stuff. I open up all my screens and I keep them all kind of out there like a big mess of garbage, but you can sort your garbage how you want. Man, database error establishing database connection. What else could I have done wrong? Let's see. It's really only the two things. Miss something here? Let me go back here and check. Best way to check is to go back to your, since we're done with the SSL, this is the last thing we got to do is just get this connection worked out, and then we'll be done. I promise. think I uploaded my database and everything. So we got weekondb 57925792. All right. You see the error? Right here. My username. I made that username too long. Alright. I didn't even catch that. Well, obviously, because my site didn't work. It was broken. But here, it's going to work. Oh, man. Yes! There you go. So, there you have it. I just moved my website from one server to another, one hosting account to another, and my SSL. I think we did that in probably about 45 minutes. Well, I mean, less than an hour, and it was really nailing it. It doesn't always go that easy. It doesn't always go that easy. Sometimes there's problems, especially if it's the first time you've moved your site from one place to another. It sometimes plugins break and things like that, and I've run into that issue tons of times where the plugins are broken, or WordPress wasn't updated right, or the database needed to be updated, or something like that goes a little weird. This one went so smooth because excuse me, my site does get updated regularly. This one, I log in usually twice a month to it and just do some checkup stuff, make sure I look for hacks and things like that. And so it's fairly updated. I move it often, obviously, as you can tell. Once every few months my site moves from one hosting account to another. So that is there you go. That's how you move your WordPress website. And now keep in mind, I never went into my WordPress dashboard one time. I don't even have to do that. So I can migrate my site like that. So about us 404. So I'm not getting my my files there, but I can do. Let's try and log in. WP login.php. Oh. Alright, so this is my login screen now. Since I don't remember my WordPress password. Jeez. Alright, so I don't remember my WordPress password. And I'm pretty positive all I have to do is go into my dashboard and update the permalinks, and that'll take care of that 404 error. So if you don't remember your password, here's what you do. You go open up your phpMyAdmin. Now, mind you, when I show you guys all this stuff, I have to circle back around and I have to change all my passwords and everything again, because I could blur it out, but then when I blur stuff out, then I have to blur it out over multiple screens, and it's much easier, honestly, for me just to go back in and change all the passwords than it is to monkey around with blurbing out certain things in the video. It just stinks. Plus, I'm not a big fan when I watch stuff that's blurbed out. I mean, it doesn't bother me all that much, but just babbling while I set this up. Did you see what I did there? I just copied and pasted my WordPress username, and now and then I just clicked on users. I just opened my phpMyAdmin. You should be familiar with this by now. And then you click on your database, it opens up, and then you got WP users, and you can see I only have one user. Sometimes if you have a hacked website, you'll see 100 users on here. There'll be a whole bunch of people, like fake users. Okay, so how to change your password. Just take a big chunk of whatever this is right here, copy it, archive it, and then paste it in here. And then after you paste it in there, you come over to the drop down, you select MD5. MD5 is a encryption for the password on your WordPress, and then you click that go button. Now I just updated the username and password for my WordPress, so if all goes well, I should be able to refresh this screen maybe 2 times, maybe 3 times, maybe 4. I'll get it to spin again really good, because if you get the username and password wrong on my site, it boots you. Alright, so username, password, log in. Now if I did it right, I should get a WordPress dashboard. Bam, there it is. Alright, so you know the drill. Settings and permalinks, right? Oh, 4.8. Look at me talking about I update my stuff regularly. Ha! Terrible. I'm going to fix that right now, though. So all you have to do when you reset your permalinks is just click Save Changes. That's it. Done. You're done. That's all you have to do. You don't have to select another. You used to have to do that. Not anymore. So that's good. Let's check the site. Does this thing still say token mismatch? I think the DNS just hasn't caught up in this thing. WeConnectWebsites.com. So I should be able, now that I adjusted my permalinks, to go to my home page here and click on this posts, and it should take us to the post page, which it does, right? So it works now. Just to be sure that it's not working just because I am logged into my WordPress. Sometimes you'll have errors like that. You'll have an error where you won't see it when you're logged into the WordPress dashboard. All I did is I popped open what's called an incognito window or a private browsing window, or one of those kind of things. And then I'm going to check my site from there, and here you go. It's working. So that is it, my friends. That is how you move your WordPress website from one GoDaddy cPanel to another GoDaddy cPanel. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I hope this video was at the right pace for you. If it was a little too fast, ask questions and I'll be happy to help you out. But I wanted to go through it in real time as how I work as a developer and how I go through the process of doing multiple tasks at one time, or starting a task and then going to do something else, and really using your computer power to achieve your goal and get it done. So those are the steps. Yeah, I really look forward to your feedback. Please like the video. Please, that really helps me out to help other people. Plus, it motivates me. And comments. I love your comments, everybody. Over the years, I've gotten really nice, heartwarming stuff that's been said. I really appreciate that, and I'm glad you guys have been successful, and I'm glad the videos have made your day better. So that's really why I do this, is just to really help people out, so you're not pulling your hair out behind your desk. So don't hesitate to ask a question. I always get back as soon as I can to you, even though sometimes it takes a day or two. But I'm not always in front of my computer, but I do try my best. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. Show some love. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.